Okay, welcome to episode 35 of the house renovation project. This is the building the deck portion of the project, and the next 10 videos or so will be deck related. Most of the videos will be anyway. What we're doing here is we've made up some forms according to the plan that are 24 inches square by 12 inches deep, and we need to dig down and position these every 10 feet along the length of the deck, and then we will have a 1 foot cantilever of the beam on each end of the deck. So the beam is going to be about 1 foot in from the outside edge and from the side edge of the deck, and that'll become obvious to you in later videos when we start building it and you can see it. But what we're doing is we're digging through all the roots and rocks. It's pretty tough ground to dig in, and we have to clear things out here, and we're shoveling the dirt over next to the foundation, and we needed more dirt next to the foundation anyway because it hasn't been fully backfilled yet from when we put the foundation walls in. So what you see me doing there is I've got a tape measure, and I am measuring 8 feet out from the house and then driving in a couple of stakes there. Now I'm going up to the other end of the house, and I'm going to put another stake there, 8 feet out from the house, and then what I'm going to do is pull a string between the two stakes, and the string will act as a straight line for us to reference everything and put it all into one nice straight line. So there I've grabbed the string and I'm pulling the string on down, and the string is actually a little bit low here. I'm going to grab another piece of rebar and drive it in down next to the stakes where the piles of concrete bags are, and that will let me lift the string up about 6 more inches so that it clears all the ground. The ground does have a slope and a hump to it, so I need to get around that. Mitch is discovering that there's a big oil tank in the ground there, and so we are digging around that, and then we're going to alter the shape of the footing there. Instead of being 2 feet square, 12 deep, this one is going to be about 18 wide by 2.5 feet long. So roughly the same area, but narrower, and that way it will clear the tank. Excuse me. Okay, so I have the strings all tight now, and we will be positioning the boxes straight along the string line. In a second here I'm going to grab my tape measure, and we need to position each of these holes 10 feet apart. And so what I will do is drive, well actually I've already done that, drive some rebar marking posts in at 10-foot intervals, and then we center the boxes with the rebar. And if you look at that box on the left side of the screen, you can see a stick going out, and you can just make out the piece of rebar, and so that is the rebar there for the 10-foot interval. So then what I'm doing right now is filling the hole back up a bit and leveling the box. And we want to have these boxes flush to ground level. You see I'm using that 2x6 section there as a guide. That rests on the ground, and then I lift the box up to the 2x6 and then it will be flush with the ground level. And then I use my level to adjust the tilt of the box to get it relatively flat, plumb, horizontal. And we do want to have a little bit of a slope on it just to keep water from accumulating on it. And so the box is a little bit tight to the hole, so it just kind of took a little extra work. Then when the box is in position, then we will backfill the outside of the box to hold it stable.
Teddy, hey, what's this? Is that chicken? Is that chicken? Good boy.
Look how deep the thread is on these wires.
Oh yeah. Brand new Michelins. Okay, so today's report, we got all the stuff done. Yeah, not much in here, so let's head on over. We have an inspection tomorrow morning, and he is going to look at the nailing on all the plywood walls, exterior, and the floor up above. So we have our post bases all set in here. Got them leveled up somewhat flush to ground, and then a little bit of a slope for runoff, and then we'll do some grading with a shovel here later. So yeah, anyway, this is what we got done today. We had to make this one here different because there's a huge rock underground that it was either us or the rock, so we let the rock win. And then we have this here is the deep part of the deck. It'll be 14 feet. It might go 16 feet. They could go 16 if they wanted, but so we have the string line over on those, and then I needed a straight line out here, and the fastest way to do that was to just grab a 16-foot 2x8 and measure off the house 14 feet out, and that gave me the edge of the deck. Okay, so inspector tomorrow morning, and then we will start mixing concrete. And you can see we have our rebar pre-cut, and then we've got 5/8 galvanized J bolts that will stick down, and they'll protrude up about 1 inch above the level of the concrete, and those will mount under the ABU 4/6 post saddles. And so those are the Z-Max post saddles designed for exterior use with treated lumber, extra zinc or extra galvanized plating. Got our concrete is covered. So okay, well that's today. I'm gonna get home. I am so tired. I twisted my leg yesterday and I couldn't sleep because of leg pain. It was not fun. Okay, and then I'm just going to take a picture here with the camera on the Samsung cell phone, because the zoom, it's not as wide of an angle, so it'll show this a little bit differently. Okay, that's it for the GoPro.
Alright, so now we've gone down to Home Depot and rented a cement mixer. And this mixer will do 3 bags at a time. I'm gonna put in a couple of bags, add water, and let it run. and you can see just how simple it is. It's a little bit heavy handling 60-pound or 80-pound bags of concrete, but using the mixer is a lot easier than mixing in a wheelbarrow. So it takes about 8 bags of concrete per box to fill them. And I'm going to be putting in some more cement here, but it seems to be sticking on the bottom of the mixer, so I'm going to grab a shovel and try to break it loose and get the rest of it mixing. And so Mitch is helping me get that out. And there, now we have that first box is filled now. I've got a board there that I'm using to screed the cement level to the top of the box. And so we'll do that, and then I need to make some adjustments on the box there, just tweaking it a little bit to get it level the way we want it. And then while I'm working the concrete, Mitch is mixing up some more loads, and I'm grabbing concrete and moving it over to the mixer for Mitch, and then Mitch does the mixing. And then I go and do the working of the concrete. And so you see me troweling the concrete there, getting it all smoothed out, leveled out. And Mitch is mixing the concrete. He's going to throw some rebar in on top of that concrete in just a second. And there goes the rebar, and there goes the concrete. Okay, so we're putting out some pretty good teamwork here. You can see the bolt. I'm setting the first J-bolt into the concrete. J-bolt is 5/8 inch diameter and 10 inches long. So then it also sticks up 1 inch through the center of the concrete, and that will be the hold down for the ABU 46Z post bases. And the 2x6 or 16-foot 2x8 that I'm using there, I'm using that as a straight edge so that I can insert all of the J-bolts and use that 16-foot 2x8 as a straight edge to get everything all nice and lined up. So you can see that I've got 3 J-bolts in there now. So I'm going to work the concrete here. Mitch is still filling that box. And I'm back over there. You have to let the concrete set up a little bit. You don't want to be working it when it's too wet, and then you don't want it to get too firm either. So you just gotta constantly be moving around to get the concrete the way you want it, when you want it. And so now I'm just setting rebar down into that box, and now I'm troweling it flat and smooth on top. You see Mitch just put the rebar in that box and now poured concrete over that. So that box is finished now. What I'm doing right now is I'm troweling that, but I'm also edging. And edging is a little rounded edge tool that you use on the perimeter of the block, and that puts a nice round edge on the concrete so that you don't have a sharp, jagged edge like you would have if you didn't do anything. But I use the edging tool on the concrete, and then I will trowel it smooth so that you don't see the tracks of the edger on the concrete. So it takes a little bit of a patience and a little bit of a practiced hand to do it, but this is also not work that has to be perfect because they are just deck footings. It's not like garage floor where you need a really good surface on it. Mitch is mixing concrete for the last footing, and I'm just getting ready to work this one here. There's a little too much concrete in that box, so we just took a shovel and put it over in that last box. Mitch is rinsing out the concrete mixer now, and we're going to load it up in his truck, and he's going to run it back down to the rental shop. You can see we just grabbed the extension cords, and so Mitch is going to be gone, and I'm going to be showing a little more of a close-up on how to do the concrete. So I'm measuring the position of the J-bolt, and all the J-bolts are at the same position in each of the blocks. They all line up nice and straight, and going to do the same thing here. So this time lapse is just about over, and I'm going to do a normal speed narration. Okay, so I'm just going to come back here and finish up this pad for the deck. Just want to do my edging. It always looks nicer when you edge it. Stuff always falls onto it. Instead of a sharp, jagged edge, it'll have a nice rounded edge, and it just looks nicer. Even though no one's going to see these because they'll be under a deck. Just go back and forth a few times, get it nice and smoothed out. Then you start at the outside, come in, start at the outside, come in, and there you have a relatively nice, clean corner. Start at the edge, and then you come back in, and this way too. A little closer where I can see what I'm doing.
Okay, so we got that, and then we'll just hit it with the flat trowel, just to blend everything together. That is good enough. From there, it's good enough. We just walk away from it. Okay, let's do this next one here. Good enough. And now it's just kind of blend it in. Alright, that is good enough. Okay. Let's see what these other ones are looking like. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, okay. Okay, so let's see now. I just kind of keep moseying my way down here and finish up these other three. Those last two are still a little wet. This one here is just now getting to the workable point. So let's work it. It might be a little wet still, but I have to get this done. It's almost Friday, 5 o'clock Friday. Getting very close to the time to head home. Okay, so we have our footings are all in. We've got the tops are screeded and edged. We got all the bolts are nice and in line. Very nice. 60 bags of concrete it ended up taking us. So Monday we'll take the forms apart and we will backfill the dirt into around the forms. We have some ABU 46Z post bases. And when we get those in, we will start building deck, and hopefully they will be in Monday or Tuesday. Okay, so that concludes this week. And then we also passed our sheathing nailing inspection, so we are ready to go. Okay, so if you want to learn how to build a deck, the next about 10 videos in this series are the video for you. It's going to start off with doing the footings, then doing the posts and beams, and then we'll be doing the joists and decking and railing. So there's a few things going on in progression here. It's kind of at the point where things start to get fun because it starts looking more like a house. Okay, so yeah, please do subscribe if you want to follow along with the build of this project. And we will see you on the next video.